Alright, let us continue our adventures in Pillars of Eternity. It's been a couple days since I played. I don't really remember what I was in the middle of doing. Oh, apparently heading towards the first fires. So let's head to the first fires. Sorry, I was running a few minutes late today. Just couldn't be helped. Okay. We haven't explored anything here. We got the palace, keep, the Temple of Odeka, which is a storyline thing, the Valiant Embassy. So let's take a look at our stronghold, where we left things. We have 2 people out on missions. We're working on... Am I building anything? Looks like I'm taking a break on building until I get my funds. Oh no, I'm building Bright Hollow Hearth. Okay. Alright. Can I not go? Oh no, okay, I can't go to the right there then. I was wondering why I couldn't go any further to the right. Sorry, I got rained on a little bit. And plus, I had to help with groceries, bring them in. Me being a bigger guy, it doesn't take much to send me into a sweating spree. Okay, so let's take a look at the center piece. Stones of this ancient tower have been blackened by centuries-old fires, surrounded by a patch of wildflowers. It looks like a memorial. Okay. Let's just go around. People to speak to. Probably souls. I'm betting souls. Yep. You see a dimly lit street lined with buildings. Most of them are dark and quiet, but one at the edge of a canal is bright and noisy, defying the night. This Amao stands in the dark, huddled against the cold of the shadows, keeping away from everything. He stares at the door of the lit building, intently studying it. There's a sign hanging on the side of the building. It is barely legible in the dark, but it appears to read Goose and Fox. Movement from inside the building perks the Amao up. He pulls his cloak close around his face, and his breath speeds up, catching slightly. His excitement is palpable. The main door to the establishment opens, releasing a... I always mispronounce cacophony. That's the way I pronounce it, and the wife gives me a terribly hard time about it. It's cacophony of laughter and shouting. Light spills out onto the street, illuminating a solitary figure in the doorway. The Amao stands, bringing his right hand up in front of his face, palm down, fingers extended. The figure exits Goose and Fox and stumbles off into the darkness, swaying slightly as it walks unsteadily down the street. The Amao follows the figure, muttering a few words under his breath and gently wiggling his hand. The tips of his fingers start glowing lightly, steam rising from them against the cold air. He increases his pace, intent on catching the figure disappearing into the night. He shakes his hand once more, and the tips of his fingers burst into flame, the flickering light revealing a manic glee in his eye. He closes on the figure, nearly hyperventilating with happiness, and whispers a name, Caron. The figure jumps slightly and begins to turn as the Amao extends his hand, leveling his fingers directly at the figure. You see this man, much younger, lying on a large stone slab situated on a dais in the center of a circular room. At 7 points around the dais, older men in black robes prostrate themselves over ornate runes worked into the stone of the floor, chanting in a low drone. An 8th man enters, carrying an ebony box, inlaid with gold runes that match the runes on the floor. He stands at the head of the slab, lowers his head, and slowly opens the box. He turns to each prostrate man in turn, tipping the open box in their direction as he does. He then sets the box at the head of the slab, facing away from the young man lying there. He reaches into the box, removing a small cylinder of onyx, and then moves to the end of the slab, stopping near the young man's feet. He holds the onyx up, says a word, and then presses it against the young man's right foot. When it touches his flesh, the onyx softens and becomes a black leech, attaching itself to the young man's soul. The man repeats these steps until there are leeches on both hands and feet, the middle of his chest, his neck, and his forehead. The older man then takes his place at the head of the slab, raising his hands and joining the chanting, watching the young man as his blood drains. Let's just finish exploring the central area. Make sure there's no more people to talk to, I mean. Okay, so this leads up to the Ducal Palace. I want to go there first. Let's just go up here and see. Pretty sure I have a quest in there. Something about somebody not thinking I have the right to my own stronghold or something. You see a small mobile stall covered with various goods and sundries. The woman is standing next to it, engaged in a lively discussion with a man who is holding one of the items she is selling. She has a light, friendly countenance and is trying to explain to the man how to control the item. He moves his hands around the top of it and mutters what sounds to be gibberish. After several attempts, he growls and thrusts the item back at her and starts to turn away. She stops him with a hand on his shoulder and holds the item up in front of his face. She traces a finger over the top of it, slowly and distinctly repeating the same phrase over and over. The object suddenly lights up, shining as brightly as a torch. The man's face brightens as well, and he looks at her expectantly. She runs 2 fingers down the side of the object, and the light extinguishes. She hands it back to him and takes her place behind, guiding his hands as she whispers the words to say in his ear. Many failed attempts later, the man is able to light the object on every try. Elated, he hands it back to her as she makes her way behind the cart. While he searches for appropriate coins, she places the item on a shelf under the backside of the cart and replaces it with another from a small box next to it. Money and goods are exchanged, and she watches the man leave, satisfied with his purchase. Then she scans the crowd, looking for her next mark. Old switcheroo. You see a man preaching, his voice washing over a small crowd of eager acolytes. He speaks of tolerance and of self-reliance, of pain and of beauty. The crowd nods, agreement clear on the transparent faces, and the preacher frowns. He continues, speaking of the importance of anger, the strength of hatred, and frustration. I know that strength well. His frown deepens as they nod, enraptured. He calls forth one of their number, an older man. It is safe, the preacher says. No harm will come to him. Smiling, the man walks forward into the preacher's embrace. A shudder rocks his frame as he pushes away a thin stiletto through his chest. He falls to the ground and does not breathe long. The crowd groans, confused. The preacher's face is dark with rage. Do not trust blindly, he says. Do not take the world at its face. Terrible things lie beneath, and you must be prepared before you see the truth. The crowd thins, the body removed, the preacher silent. A few remain to listen, and to them he smiles. Okay, we're probably going to go in here next, but first I want to make sure there's no more herbies up in here. No more people to talk to hiding in the shadows. Alright, let's head in. I believe we have a quest in here, which means I could get Durance back if we complete the quest. Travel to the Ducal Palace in the First Fires District of Defiance Bay. Speak with Chancellor Warren at the Hall of Records. Okay, first thing I want to take a closer look at that quest. A call to court. It's a task, not a quest. Okay. Not sure if a task will count towards the turn, because I got one turn left on Durance's mission. Welcome to the Ducal Palace.
Gods keep you.
The young woman wears a simple but well-tailored uniform. She watches the coming and going around her with quiet attention. Any news to share, or are you just here to see the Ducal Palace? What's the Ducal Palace? It's the seat of government here in Defiance Bay. This is where Duke Admath Hadrat declared freedom from Adran rule some 150 years ago. She lowers her voice and grins. It's also a hotbed of regional politics. Trust me, the gossip here beats what you'll find in any tavern or brothel in the city. Ah, Deerwood politics. It changes too quickly to be worth keeping up with. Better to strike up conversation at the taverns than try to loiter inconspicuously in the palace corridors. Looking for news? Who are you? I'm a page here at the palace. I deliver messages and run errands for the Duke and his advisors. The pay's not great, but I can't think of a better introduction to politics. What goes on here? She laughs. Where to start? We've got meetings, public hearings, ceremonies, and that's just the stuff that happens out in the open. She leans a little closer. This is where the Duke and his key advisors work, so there's always someone bartering for a favor. Unfortunately, I'm not at liberty to talk about that side of things. But if you want the official version, she clears her throat and gestures counterclockwise around the palace. We have a shrine devoted to Magrin, official records, and chambers for public hearing and council meetings. Tell me about the Shrine of Magrin. It's a symbol of Magrin's protection of Defiance Bay. She's represented the revolutionary spirit of the Deerwood ever since independence, and her involvement in creating the Godhammer bomb only affirmed her importance to us. She scratches her neck. That's also where the first of the sacred fires burn, but Firga, the tranquil ardent, has had trouble keeping them lit. What kind of records are stored here? Mostly dull official stuff, census counts, tax records, militia registers. Now I keep my distance. I got curious one day and got drafted into reshelving half of the records. She yawns. Worst day of my life. Is there a hearing going on right now? Sure is. Duke Avar's been meeting with some of the city leaders for weeks now, trying to figure out how to address the legacy. The whole business is terribly secret, though. I tried to sit in the gallery during my lunch break one day and got turned away. She sniffs. But a lot of the talk concerns animancy, so there's good reason they're keeping the meetings behind closed doors. Why is animancy so controversial? She laughs. Where to begin? Traditionalists think it's a crime against the gods. There's no question the poking around is risky, but the more progressive elements believe it's our only shot at restoring healthy births. And it doesn't help matters that animancy research often involves old Angwithian relics that were illegally looted from the ruins in Air Glanfath. She makes a quick twitching motion with her index and middle fingers. The legacy? Waidwin's legacy. That's what a lot of people call the Rash of Hollowborn. The theory goes that it's punishment for meddling in animancy. What are Hollowborn? She raises an eyebrow. You really are fresh from the road. Hollowborn are children born without souls. They often don't live for very long, and then those that do have generally received some kind of treatment from the animancers. So what do you think about animancy? Me? I think the real danger of animancy is confusing a real scholar with an expensive fake. We get a new case here every day. Some poor couple in the Gift or Copper Lane who spent every copper they had on a miracle cure for their unborn child. It never works. She shakes her head. Breaks your heart, but there's usually nothing we can do for them. I see. Anyways, the legacy is what politicians have all been whispering about lately. I'd like to talk about something else. Of course, I've always got my ear to the ground. Tell me about the current Duke. That would be Avar Wolfgren. Don't let the title fool you, though. Our dukes have been elected since independence. Some find Duke Avar rather coarse. He's a frontier noble. Personally, I think a rough and tumble type is just what Defiance Bay needs. Alright, cool. Goodbye. Thank you. I appreciate the information. So let's see. Let's look at the map. We could go left. We could go right. We can go up there. I think we will go towards the Shrine of Magna first.
On the hunt.
Make sure there's nothing hidden or traps. Doesn't look that way. A stone figure of a warrior gazes toward a raised hand. It's empty, but the palm and fingers are blackened.
How do you do?
The woman's head is bowed as her lips move in prayer. Just as you approach, you catch her glimpsing at the statue near her. She notices you and forces a smile. Praised be to Magrin, and welcome to her temple. How may I be of service? You seem upset. What's wrong? Her shoulders slump. This is about the fires, isn't it? She puts a hand on your shoulder. They're just symbols. You can't put your faith in them. My character leans stoic and rational, so let's go with rational. She sighs. The sacred pyres all around town. You must have seen the statues of the goddess around the city, holding up empty braziers. I've kept them burning steadily for 15 years, but I haven't been able to conjure them for months now, and people need to see them more than ever these days. What does that mean? It's my devotions and prayers that keep them lit. But lately, when I try to pray, all I can think about are the Hollowborn all over the city, the grieving families, the refugees. She shakes her head. How can Magrin allow us to suffer like this? What strength do we gain from a soulless child? Stoic. Shrug. Well, I can't afford to be so nonchalant, but I believe Magrin may be speaking to me again. She frowns and casts a quick glance in your direction. You don't seem like the type who has much use for the mysteries of faith, but I can't think of any other way to explain this. Lately, I've been seeing visions. A place in the wilderness with pools filled with sunbursts of color. Strange falls that seem to rise to the heavens even while they splash into the earth. She raises her hands as if framing an image of her vision, and behind the falls is a cave, filled with fire and heat and danger, and some token of my goddess. I know there's something there, but where it is or how I'd get there, she shakes her head. I've been meaning to ask around at the expedition hall to see if anyone recognizes the description. To be honest, though, I don't know what I'd do even if I found the place. Sagani's painted brow furrows. An uncertain mission with no clear outcome. I can understand her confusion. Still, it seems odd that she would send us when the vision is clearly hers. What's the significance of the sacred pyres? They symbolize Magrin's power and guidance, and right now the people of Defiance Bay need to be assured of her presence. She crosses her arms, staring at the statue. Our neighbors in the Valiant Republic see us as superstitious, but we're just sensitive to the signs and warnings of the gods. I'd like to know more about the temple here. Magrin is the most revered goddess among us Deerwoodans, so it's no surprise that her temple is part of the ducal palace. Her fires symbolize trials, revolutions, and the blazing of new paths, all of which are important to us. She gestures to the statue. This is the first of the sacred pyres. When this is lit, so are the rest around the city. Alright, goodbye. Looks like I got a new quest, Cinders of Faith. Make
Good
sure
day,
she doesn't...
stranger.
Are you still having the visions of the falls? Her voice is low and quiet. Yes, and of the cave and something within. Some small bright ember of faith guarded by a terrible danger. I only wish I could go myself. She turns a guilty gaze on the statue. Alright. Let's go down this way.
Let's see what lies this way.
It's not stealing if nobody can see you. Only people with official invitations are allowed to observe the animancy hearings. I believe this is the door out. Let's see, I can't get in there, so it looks like. Just curious to see what's in the chest. Not gonna take anything, just curious. I don't have the proper key. Alright, Duke's probably inside, so let's see what he has to say. Yes, I'm a serial saver. I'm a little anal retentive about it. Let's talk to the records
Welcome.
keeper. A taciturn man with graying hair pores over a tome he's just withdrawn from one of the shelves. He glances up at you with baggy eyes. Yes, is there something I could pull for you? I'm looking for militia records from the time of the Saints' War, trying to find out what happened to someone. The man clears his throat. We've had a number of inquiries about such information. I'm afraid we've had to bar access to the public. Seems there are still quite a number of folk in Deerwood who bear ill will towards Red Sarens. It would be irresponsible to surrender their names to just anyone. Many came to settle here as refugees. Perhaps if you were more established in Defiance Bay, things would be different. But I have no reason to suspect you to be any different from the others. We've come a long way. I just need to find out about my brother. I don't even know what side he fought for. You must understand, I've heard many such stories. I'm afraid there's nothing I can do for you. I'm not sure about this. This might end up in combat, and I don't want to do that. In the Duke's Palace, I can assure you that you do not. Besides, with my assistance, you'd be sifting through scrolls for years. Farewell. Chancellor, I believe you have business with Chancellor Warren. Stuff to look at here.
I'm on the trail.
Let's make sure there's nothing hidden. Okay, let's talk to the Chancellor. See what we can do about this. Thank you for coming, Ponzeric. I've been trying to track you down for some time. This is Marshal Forwyn, Earl Badamir's military advisor. He will serve as a witness for this proceeding. He gestures at the man next to him. Well met, Road Warden. Your reputation precedes you. I admit you've created a bit of a stir throughout the nobility for your reclamation of Caed Nua. Most are still not sure what to think of you. What's this about? The legitimacy of your claim to Caed Nua is in question. Earl Badamir has issued a ruling on the matter. Caed Nua was abandoned for over a century, and I've claimed the land through strength of arms. My claim is legitimate. I go with the rational. If there were no other claimant, you would be correct. Unfortunately, this is not the case. All will be made clear once Lord Gathman arrives. Do you have any questions for me while we wait? Tell me about Earl Badamir. Earl Badamir comes from a steam line of lords that rose to prominence after the War of Defiance some 150 years ago. The Deerwood consists of 7 earldoms. The Badamirs govern the northern earldom known as the Grasp. As to the current Badamir, he's as fine a man as I know. It is an honor to serve him. Tell me more about the Grasp. The Grasp is now the largest of the 7 earldoms after it consumed the pre-war earldom of Yenwood. It encompasses notable settlements such as New Aemar, Garen's Grasp, Gilded Vale, and of course Caed Nua. Yenwood. When the Deerwood was a mere colony of Aedir, it was divided into 9 earldoms. When the Aedrins were defeated and ultimately driven out, 2 of the earldoms were absorbed and borders were adjusted. The Yenwood was one such earldom. Other questions? Of course. What do you know of Gathman? While I've met him but once, it was ample time to determine the character of Lord Errolder Gathman, or lack thereof. He is descended from an old Aedrin line that predates the War of Defiance. His great-grandfather, Rannig Gathman, was the Earl of Yenwood during the war. That is, until he was stripped of his lands and driven from the Deerwood. Other questions? Do you know which way Earl Badmer has ruled? I'm sorry, my lord. I do not. The Earl's decree is sealed. What was that about Road Warden? The one who rules Caed Nua on behalf of the Earl of Yenwood is traditionally known as the Road Warden. Your position might not be entirely official, yet, but the title is an appropriate form of address. The Marshal nods and smiles. I don't have any more questions. Your timing is impeccable. Here comes Lord Gathman now. An opulently dressed man strides toward the Chancellor, his sandy hair trailing him like a banner caught in a light breeze. Boot heels echoing throughout the hall. An elven woman with cropped hair dressed in dark, glinting mail shadows his steps before taking a position alongside him. She watches you unabashedly, taking your measure. Lord Gathman, let's move past this formality as quickly as possible. I have other matters to attend to. It's well known that Caed Nua belongs to me, by right. And where is this pretender, he who murdered the Raedricks, my own sister and her husband, and now steals my land? Where is this low-born wretch? Warren clears his throat and glances at you. This man here, this is the Lord of Caed Nua? I thought he was just another servant, perhaps a valet or a porter. Oh, I already don't like this dick. Raise your hand. I could be clever, or I could just... Everyone who owns their own keep, raise a hand. Go on, don't be shy. Okay, clever's not my way. I'm stoic and rational, so can we get on with this, please? Warren breaks the seal on the scroll and unfurls it. Regarding the matter of the Gathman claim on Caed Nua, Earl Badmer finds that the Gathman claim was never relinquished. By law, Caed Nua is the rightful property of the Gathman family. I knew it, Gathman smirks at you triumphantly. I'm not yet finished reading, my lord. Ah, there's always a but. Gathman rolls his eyes and motions for the Chancellor to continue. However, the Earl recognized Ponzeric's part in reclaiming Caed Nua, a site that has stood abandoned and even some would say cursed for over a century. Before Caed Nua's return to the Gathman family, the Earl has decreed that Lord Gathman will provide compensation in the form of... Absolutely not. Prick aristocrat. Gathman folds his arms, a defiant scowl on his face. My lord, Warren raises his eyebrow. The amount is quite reasonable and a requirement for your land to be returned to you. If you'll just allow me to finish, I'll not pay a single copper to this miscreant from my ancestral land. Do you think I'm blind to the Earl's motives, lackey? He thinks he could send a message with this insult. I have a message. You could send that son of a whore. Gathman raises an open hand as the Chancellor shrinks from him, arm raised in defense. Grab Gathman's arm. Keep your hands off of me, you peasant. Gathman yanks his arm free of your hand and steps back. The elven woman deftly draws a pistol from her thick leather belt, her eyes widening in anticipation. My lords, please, there's no need for violence. Lord Gathman holds your gaze for several heartbeats, his eyes burning with hatred. I'll be coming from what's mine. Count on it. Come, Captain Emery. We're leaving. He sneers defiantly before storming down the hall. The captain lowers her pistol and gives a smirking shrug before following her employer. Oh, that could have went better. Well, I can't say that Gathman's reaction was entirely unexpected. Through no fault of your own, I'm afraid you've made a powerful enemy. I've dealt with much worse. I hope you're right, Warren smiles thinly. In any case, Caed Nua now officially belongs to you since Lord Gathman has rejected the Earl's decree. He hands you a deep blue scepter which looks to have been carved entirely out of sapphire. Here, this belonged to one of the old lords of Caed Nua. By right, it's yours now. You have gained an item. Geared Howinus Stennis added to inventory. Oh, a scepter. My caster might enjoy that. Let's see. Benevolent, cruel, clever. I'm not really any of those things. I'm done here. It was a pleasure to finally meet you, my lord. Warren bows. Perhaps we'll speak again under more pleasant circumstances. Farewell, Ponzeric. The Marshal nods at you and leaves. Alright.
Well met, friend. Hello.
Okay, so I can't do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at this stuff. The page unturned. A series of murders has shocked and terrorized the scribes of White Rock Isle. Sequestered in their island monastery in the Boots of Ondra, they have had little success reaching out to the mainland for help. Though renowned for their integrity and artistic talents, the scribes must be unknowingly harboring someone who has attempted to sabotage their work on forbidden books. After failing to prevent 2 additional deaths, Durance and the monks were able to track down the murderer, a secretive scribe of the order that the other monks believed had died years ago. In reality, the scribe had been hiding in the catacombs beneath the monastery and progressively destroying heretical works that he believed spread lies about the origins of the gods. When the monks started to catch on, he killed anyone who raised suspicion. Rather than face punishment, the scribe left from the highest tower of the monastery to his death. In the scribe's subterranean laboratory, Durance discovered several suspicious vials of thick brown fluid. The monastery's herbalist identified it as a potent poison, the same that had likely been used to kill the monks. Okay. Durance is just gonna have to stay put for now.
Let's see what lies this way.
Not stealing the books, just looking at them. There's nothing wrong with looking at the books.
Yeah.
Still don't think I could do this yet. Nope. Alright, so that means we're done here. Done at the Ducal Palace. Okay, where to next? Let's go over here. This allows access to Heritage Hill. And let's just kind of work our way around in a circle. But we're saving Templo Bodega for last because that's a story quest thing. Another soul, yep. You see a trio of Orlans, bright and gaudy, their instruments weapons as they compete with one another in brutal disharmony. Behind them, a troupe of performers roll, jump, and gesture, teeth flashing with exquisite sharpness as they enact some bizarre pantomime. The smallest, one moment seemingly a child and the next an old man, thrusts obscenely at the crowd, eyes glazed behind his rictus grin. The crowd jostles uncomfortably at his display, dissatisfaction in their midst. No money is thrown, nor no praise given as the performers continue their disparity. The crowds disperse uneasy, and the man-child grin grows obscene as he watches them go. You see solemn faces, hundreds of them. They stand in silent remembrance, a town officially lamenting the sacrifice of some brave hero. His companions stand to the side, empty. The official tells their story, the saving of the village, the story of the one lost to the trolls in the battle, as best he can. But the faces of his friends say far more about the veracity of the speech. Finally, it's over, and the villagers move back to their lives. The adventurers mill about for a time, talking, remembering, before heading back to the inn for the night. They mourn in their own ways. Tears, anger, sveff, broken bottles. The leader of the group stays quiet, gaze inward. Weeks pass and he speaks little, leaving the inn early in the morning and returning late at night, exhausted. Finally, he takes the others to see it. A statue, life-size, beautiful in its crude design. The villagers mount it in the square as the group leaves, still empty, but a little less broken. The statue smiles at them as they leave. It's creepy. Statues aren't supposed to smile. Valian Embassy. Doesn't look like there's anything up that way. Alright. Let's see what the Valiant Embassy has in store for us. Doesn't say stealing, but I don't want to take the chance.
I shall be quiet as a calm sea, which is not very quiet.
Yeah, I don't want to take the chance.
Good day to you.
What can this humble servant of the Republics do for you? Tell me about the Valiant Republics. They are rich in all ways, in wealth, in style, and culture. If you were to go to the Republics, you would not want to leave. Why would you? The people are beautiful and charming. I am here because the Sangreda Ducala wishes it. But when my appointment is done, I will be on the first ship out, and I will sing from here to Salona. If there's nothing else, I must return to my duties. What do you do here? As the Valiant Ambassador, my job is to ensure trade with the Deerwood remains strong and profitable. Farewell. No stealing. These postings show current prices for a range of commodities, and they track the run and exchange rate for the Valiant Lusk. Ooh.
I'm on the trail.
It's not stealing if nobody knows.
I'll have it in no time. The work of a moment.
Spread across the table are blueprints of an in-progress trade deal between a merchant company from the Republic and a Deerwood and Werewolf collective.
I shall be discreet.
Okay, hold on a second. Hold on. Why isn't this muting? Sorry, I'll be right back. I don't know why OBS is not reacting. Alright, sorry about that. I was being asked questions, and I was panicking because none of my hotkeys for muting or changing to be right back are working. And it's just because I had a brain freeze and I forgot the correct hotkeys. So in my panic, I thought there was something wrong with my Streamlabs OBS not responding to the hotkeys. It was just me, just being stupid. And of course now I'm having issues loading my game. Sorry about this. Hold on a second. It doesn't say that it didn't sync. Okay, it must have just still been syncing. Sorry about the interruption. Okay, let's reload the Valiant Embassy. And I once again apologize. Okay, so where were we? Oh yes, we're gonna steal everything, as long as we don't get caught. The flag depicts the symbol of the Valiant Republics, a ship sailing beneath 5 radiant stars.
I'll see what I can do.
I can't even unlock that. Oh, and now my phone's going off, of course. Hold on, sorry again. I don't even know why I bother. Yeah, because that couldn't wait. Okay, so it looks like we're done here. Nothing really much going on in the Valiant Republic Embassy. So let's go out this way just to open up whatever we can open up on the map, which is Andra's gift, but we're not going there. Not quite yet.
Well, this would be our Church of Woodica. Dear Woodens. Probably the first thing we burned during the Revolution.
Praise to the exiled queen. May her crown be restored and her justice prevail. Come
Ghost.
to pay your respects to the queen that was.
The ghost hovers in the middle of the ruin, reciting blessings and prayers. Even as the spirit's forms shifts and swirls, it retains the face of an elderly man and robes that mark wealth and status. It turns to you. Who are you?
Lord Ardwellen Rugform III. and pleased to make your acquaintance. I came to the Deerwood on one of the first ships from Adia, and unlike the yokels and hut dwellers around here, I still keep to the old ways.
It's truly pity to see what the locals have done to Wodeka's house of worship. I was told I'd find the Temple of Wodeka here.
And so you did. These savage colonists may have burned it down, but worship of the Oathbinder is alive and well. These stairs lead to the main sanctum.
Free 648 experience. Nice. What stairs?
These stairs, of course. The sanctum was always below ground, adjacent to the catacombs, so it wasn't destroyed by the fires. There are various entrances throughout Defiance Bay, but I dare say the easiest to reach is in Copper Lane.
We already know
I
where the
haven't been to
entrance
that part
to
of
Temple of
town in
Wodeka
ages,
is in the catacombs,
but
because
as
we
I
already
recall,
did all that.
It's somewhere near the southern gate. Worshipping Wodeka, the exiled queen.
Wodeka, sorry.
I come every day to offer my devotion. I'd love nothing more than to book passage back to Adia, but it is my Emperor's wish that I serve in these barbaric lands.
I'd like to know more
So
about
I
Wodeka.
do. A queen among the gods. She oversees laws and oaths. Everything has a rightful place, and Wodeka watches over them
Wodeka,
all.
not Wodeka.
Of course, not everyone accepts this. Even among the other gods, her authority is questioned. But Wodeka is also goddess of memory and vengeance, and she remembers. She'll remember every slight and trespass when she reclaims her throne.
Like, you know that you're a ghost, right?
I beg your pardon? Is this some sort of joke where you come from?
Serious, just look at yourself.
A madhouse. That's what this town really needs.
See ya, dude.
Slow and silent.
See if there's anything hidden inside this above ground temple. Anything hidden or buried? Doesn't look like it. Alright, so we're done here, and we have to go back to the catacombs, it looks like. Just see if that unlocks anything. We need to go into take a look at Crucible Keep. And then we'll be done with the first fires.
Good day, stranger.
Aldemar gives you an appraising eye. Aldmar. Not Aldemar. Aldmar gives you an appraising eye. Judging by the scars on his face, he's lucky to be able to do that much. Every day we get more from the hinterlands pouring into Defiance Bay. Keeps us busy on the watch, it does. You look like you've recently arrived yourself. Who are you? A soldier of the Crucible Knights, and proud of it. I help keep everything running at the keep so that Commander Cliver can focus on more important matters. Looking for sun or just knocking the dirt off your boots? What goes on in Crucible Keep? This is the headquarters of the Crucible Knights, so it's where we store arms and armor, as well as where many of our soldiers bunk. Commander Cliver's in the back, making plans, as usual. He scratches a scarred cheek. You'll find the forge at the west end of the building, along with our mastersmith, Dunstan. There's also a shrine to the Golem, if you're the praying type. Tell me about the Crucible Knights. We're the defenders of Defiance Bay. We're not exactly a formal knighthood, but don't tell Commander Cliver I said that. He grins. We were the first organized militia to oppose Adrian rule, and today we're the largest force in the city. Our soldiers undergo years of combat training, and our officers are required to have their souls read by that critter out in Dunrid Row. What's this about Dunrid Row? Just a requirement of the Crucible Knights, so the higher-ups know there's nothing messy built into your soul's past. Aldmar widens his stance. Keeping the ranks pure is fine by me. I just wish they were more careful in hiring their ciphers. Stoic, spit it out. He shifts his weight and glances at the empty halls. They're mostly Orlans. I'm sure they're talented enough, but you can't trust them. Hostility's in their nature, and they've learned to hide it over the years. He frowns and crosses his arms. All I'm saying is they should at least be supervised by other folk. They're reasonable enough. That's reasonable enough, isn't it? You're wrong. Aldmar shrugs. I'm just speaking the truth. Nowadays, it seems that's the biggest crime of all. That's all. Oh wow, lots of places.
I'll see what I can find.
Nobody saw that. So it's not stealing if they don't see it. Let's see, let's go up into the forge area.
Hello? Hello?
I'll see what I can do. The work of a moment.
Alright. Tongues of flame lick at the forge, hissing with smoke as hot as a dragon's breath.
If this is about the breastplates, I already told Cleaver they won't be repaired till next week.
Let's show him the fragments of the ancient sword. Dunstan gives a low whistle. That's a fine blade indeed. He holds one fragment in his rough hands. Looks Adrian, special made. Must have been a commission for a champion of some sort. He hands the shard back to you. A sword of this caliber would have had a specially designed hilt, too. It would be a shame to graft anything else onto it. And besides, it'll balance best with all the original pieces. You find the rest of it and I'll forge it for you. Something else on your mind? What do you do here?
I'm a forge master. I'm a master smith for the Crucible Knights. But the way I see it, I'm also keeping up with our old traditions. The first members of our order were smiths. Nowadays, most everyone's a professional soldier. I suppose it's to be expected, but I think it's important we keep up with our roots, too.
Tell me about the knights.
We were all smiths back in Hodred's day, though I'm about the only one here who still gets his hands dirty. We're a fearsome fighting force, though these days I think Cleaver takes more pride in our parade formations.
Okay, so it's Cleaver, not Cliver. Got it. He thinks himself a progressive man, but he's obsessed with soul lineages and connections to the Deerwoods heroes of old. He picks up his hammer again. Other than Dunrid Row, who really knows about any of that, though? Goodbye. Tongs, Hardy's, hammers, fullers, and punch tools hang from the wall. They feel heavy and sturdy, but their flame-darkened surfaces testify to frequent use. Let's check out this room. Blades are razor sharp.
Good day, stranger.
The young novitiates I haven't seen that word prior to Pillars of Eternity, so I don't know how to pronounce it. Let's just say young Navitate. The young Navitate's armor is recently shined, and his hair is clean and neatly combed. It's hard to believe he's ever seen battle, or that the scarred antique breastplate he wears could possibly be his. Are you looking for son? Does the name Osric sound familiar? He sniffs. If you got any self-respect, you won't associate with him, or with any of his new friends at the Expedition Hall, for that matter. Scamps and delinquents, the lot of them. What's the story between you two? Osric has always held some controversial opinions, but they went overlooked for the longest time because his family has such an extensive history of service in the Crucible Knights. He frowns and crosses his arms. Pardon me. He finally went too far. He had the gall to suggest that he had strayed too far from our roots, that some of our officers were beginning to resemble Aedir nobility. He rubs a spot on his bracer with a silk handkerchief. He would have us all wear a rough spun and fight with forge hammers. I merely reported his statements. That history made the knights what they are. Now, you can't just cast it aside. We've outgrown that past. He waves a shining gauntlet. Sometimes you need to move on. Scotty frowns. Outgrown it like an old sealskin coat? You adapt with the times, sure, but that's a bit naive. He says is that his breastplate you're wearing? It was. He looked down and admires it. It became property of the Crucible Knights when he was discharged. Now it's mine. And it's not for sale, if that's what you were wondering. Not every day you find armor that was used in the rebellion. He says your affidavit is a forgery. Just what would he know about that? It's perfectly convenient for him to cast aspersions, what with his pedigree in the Knights. He folds his arms. He blinks at you. It's a lie, of course, and should be perfectly obvious to someone as logical as you. Enough about Osric. On that we can agree. How does someone become a knight? We don't take just anyone. Our members share soul legacies with the very men and women who defended this land a century and a half ago. He shifts his weight and coughs. Anyhow, Commander Cleaver is responsible for initiations, but he rarely accepts foreigners. Was there anything else? Tell me about the Knights of the Crucible. We're the primary defenders of Defiance Bay. The Order's founders were the first to rally for Dyrwood independence. He waves his hands. Of course, that's ancient history now. Now we're the most prestigious company of soldiers in the Dyrwood. It's a glorious line of work. He scrunches up his nose. If you could forget about the barracks, that is. This guy's not a soldier. Look at the quest for this. Find Penhelm's affidavit at Crucible Keep.
Quiet.
Okay. So we're done in here. Let's go in this room here.
Nice and slow.
I'll have it in no time. The work of a moment.
It's not stealing if nobody sees.
I'll see what I can do. The work of a moment.
Okay. He uses a wand. Let's have him take a look at that. Let's go ahead and have him use this instead. And we want to... soul binded to him. Sounds good to me.
I'll have it in no time. The work of a moment.
Slow and silent.
I'll see what I can do. The work of a moment.
Thick grime cakes the bottom of the tub. The towel hanging from the side gives an awful stench.
Let's see what lies this way.
Okay, sounds like we're done in that room. So let's go down here and go in this room. Then this room, then this room, then this room. This room first.
I'll see what I can find. I'll see what I can do. The work of a moment.
We're not doing anything. I don't know what you're freaking out about.
I'll
Not
see
doing
what
a
I can
thing.
find.
Alright, got the affidavit. Alright, finished in here. Let's go in here, which looks like a feast hall. Or barracks dining hall. This painting shows a row of warriors standing atop the walls of Defiance Bay while Ader's ships sail away. Alright. Wyla. The Justicar's gaze flicks over to you briefly before returning to the novitiates gathered in the training area. If this is about patrols, my novitiates are already stretched to their limit. Between the refugee influx and the mess at Heritage Hill, I simply don't have any units to spare. After a pause, she looks over at you again. I'm sorry, was there something else you need? Is something wrong at Heritage Hill? She lowers her voice. What isn't wrong is the real question. A whole district of walking, flesh-eaten corpses. We sealed the area 2 months ago, just after I lost one of my finest commanders there, and yet this is the second guard rotation to disappear. There are already enough rumors about the place floating around the keep, without my soldiers whispering about these disappearances. She shakes her head. I'd just as soon abandon the district, but if those monsters should find a way out, I could look into it. She steps back and regards you. After what I've just told you, you want to go to Heritage Hill? I've lost trained soldiers there. Why should I let anyone in? You've got nothing to lose. Yeah, rational. If you're so eager to rush to your death, I won't stop you. She quietly looks on at the novitiates, and if you're somehow able to put a stop to this, you've got my permission to enter Heritage Hill. I'll send word to the guards at the gates. Tell me about Heritage Hill. Used to be one of the most prestigious districts in Defiance Bay, but a few months ago the residents all went mad. Started eating each other, and anything else that had the bad luck to wander into the district. Never seen anything like it. Now, every Navidiot that stands guard there, everyone that comes back anyways, talks of the stench of the grave and the groans of unspeakable horrors. She holds up one plate-clad finger. The why and the how are questions for the Animancers. I've sealed the district in hopes of containing whatever happened there. It seems to be working, for now. If there's nothing else, I must attend to my duties. What do you do here? I'm in charge of the keep's Navidiots. There's gotta... I would understand if they said novices. I just don't know how to pronounce that. Navidiots? Navitaites? I'm just going to keep saying Navidiots. I'm responsible for their training and patrol assignments. She nods at the group gathered in the training room. They're good soldiers, and they've been quick to adapt to new challenges. Farewell. And a quest for Heritage Hill.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see, I came from there, so let's check out this right room first.
I'll stay out of sight.
Gotta check for secrets. Shh. This is the symbol of Abaddon, a colossal smith and hammer imposed over a circular gear. It's smooth and bright with buffing oils. There's nothing in the altar. Interesting. Oh,
Yeah.
Adair wants to talk.
Hey,
What's up, dude?
strange place for a shrine to Abaddon, Crucible Keep. Maybe it made more sense at some point before it gathered all that dust. The only thing the Knights of the Crucible worship these days is the nobility, as far as I understand it.
I knew some soldiers who got recruited by the Knights after the war was over. They told me some about it. They get these young kids in there and they tell them about blacksmithing and about the revolution and about tradition. Talk about the Golem like he created the Crucible Knights in his forge to go win Deerwood's independence. Then they join, and it turns out all any of those knights ever talk about is when are we going to get recognized as a real knighthood? When are we getting our titles and our land? Their High Justice wants to be an earl, says it's Abaddon's will. He's got a castle and an army. You wonder how long he'll wait before he starts a war over it, saying Abaddon told him to. Seems like some members still take their ideals seriously. You see it with the older knights, some of them, they were taught differently. I feel for them, seeing all that slowly wearing away around them with nothing to be done because the wrong people are in charge. Shame they don't have better people leading them.
Huh?
Oh, almost level up time. Not quite yet. Close.
We just don't have the manpower.
Keeping an eye out.
They can't see me from here. Alright, I'm perfectly invisible to them. Save and then see what's in the chest.
I'll see what I can do. The work of a moment.
Fine warbow. Let's give that to... Okay, which guy uses... she uses a bow. So this is a fine warbow, and she's using persistence. Which is just as good. Alright. So we'll just put that there. Surprised you can't... too bad you can't enchant that.
Yeah.
Nice and quiet. The work of a moment. On the hunt.
Alright, looks like I got away with taking a few things here and there. The map shows the environment surrounding Defiance Bay. Flags mark strategic access points to the city. This document estimates the flow of refugees over the past 3 months. The figures grow by the week.
Huh?
Okay, let's go ahead and save. Let's talk to Commander Cleaver.
Refugees from every corner of the Deerwood. The dozens getting them all riled up about animancy. At this rate, we'll need twice the soldiers to patrol Defiance Bay. Yes? Can I help you with something?
Why don't you have enough soldiers?
Fleetbreaker Castle. The High Justice has summoned almost half of my novitiates, and more of my
Novitiates,
justiciars
okay.
to a keep on the other side of New Hailmar. It's not for me to question the High Justice's orders, but it's left us short-handed. And mark me, we're just a couple sparks away from anarchy.
Let's do rational. More recruits means more training, which means more time from experienced soldiers that I don't have. He half turns away from you. Anyhow, I hardly see how this is any of your concern, but if you got the time to ask me about it, then perhaps you've got time to do something constructive. Forge Master Dunstan is working with an animancy scholar to build what we're calling Forge Knights, warriors that could patrol our streets without suffering fatigue, disobedience, or fear. Some agitator throws a rock at him, we don't have to worry about things getting out of hand. He constructed the armor, but we need the scholar's research. Unfortunately, she hasn't been around the last few times my novitiates have checked. Vienna lives with the rest of the Scriveners out in Copper Lane, but I haven't the soldiers to spare at the moment. Go to the Scrivener's dormitory and see if you can find her. When you get the research, just bring it to Dunstan. This is his area of expertise anyways. Once you've brought him the research, he can sell you any arms or armor if you have need. He forges and repairs all of our equipment. You won't find a more capable smith in Defiance Bay. Was there something else I could do for you? You're in charge of the Crucible Knights? Here in Defiance Bay, anyhow. The High Justice is the leader of our order, but he's currently stationed at Fleetbreaker Castle. My job is to oversee our forces in Defiance Bay and to keep order for the Duke. Tell me about the Knights of the Crucible. He crosses his hands behind his back. We're the only professional army in Defiance Bay, or in the Deerwood for that matter. We defended the city in Hadrit's day. We've improved our training since then, but Dyrnwood Row Hey, Tipsy. How you doing, man? Yeah, so far they're still alive. We defended the city in Hadrit's day. We've improved our training since then, but Dunrid Row could certify that many of our officers come from good Deerwood and Fiden stock. How's your streams been going? I saw you've been playing some Smite lately. Now we're responsible for patrolling the city and keeping the peace. With so many refugees pouring in from the countryside, that's become more important than ever. Unfortunately, that's earned us enemies, particularly among the dozens and some of the more enterprising families in Defiance Bay. What do the dozens have against you? He snorts. They're demagogues and troublemakers. They forget that Defiance Bay is one of the largest cities in the world and not some frontier outpost. Most of them are mercenaries on a good day and street thugs the rest of the time. Needless to say, they've no patience for law and order. Cool. So it's basically, I haven't played it myself. So is it kind of like a 3D MOBA type of game? What did the dozens have against you? He snorts. They're demagogues and troublemakers. They forget that Defiance Bay is one of the largest cities in the world and not some frontier outpost. Most of them are mercenaries on a good day and street thugs the rest of the time. Needless to say, they've no patience for law and order. Tell me about these enterprising families. Gotcha. I like Overwatch. I've played Overwatch some. I probably would stay out of... When I played, they didn't have like separate ranked modes for Overwatch and stuff. I don't like being in toxic type of communities, and I know the ranked in Overwatch can be pretty toxic. It was actually getting that way when I stopped playing because they didn't have a separate ranked mode yet. So, you can't play this class, or you need to switch, or, different people telling you to do different things. It's like, bitch, I'll play whatever I want. Oh, so you know all about toxic communities. That's League of Legends, from what I hear, is pretty much the worst. I really haven't played any of the MOBAs much. Oh yeah. I'm totally on board with you. I see. Was there something else I could do for you? Goodbye. To be honest, if I was going to play any MOBA, it'd probably be Heroes of the Storm, just because a lot of my World of Warcraft friends, if they dip into any MOBA, it's typically Heroes of the Storm. Not to mention, that's probably from what I've read, probably the least toxic of the MOBA communities. Mostly because, I guess, Blizzard or something? I don't know. Oh yeah? That's good. Probably because, I don't know, it seems like the larger community you have, like Overwatch or League of Legends, and I'm sure it's a ratio thing, the bigger community you are, the more toxic people you're going to have. But it just seems like a ratio doesn't explain everything. Alright, looks like I'm done with this place. Who makes Smite? I'm not overly familiar with it. I've watched you play it a few times, lurking while I watch Twitch on my Roku on my TV in the living room. No chat interface, but I could at least watch. So I've watched you a few times play Smite, but I'm just not overly familiar with it. Alright, so I think I'm done with this place. So let's look at the quest and see where I want to go. Templo Wodeca is in the catacombs. I could go do some of these. I could do that, because that's in Copper Lane. Brackenberry. Brackenberry. I want to go pick up Durance, because as much as I like the druid, it's nice having a priest or a healer. But I think I'll go to... I'll do Built to Last. And then I will go to the Temple of Wodeka. Oh, gotcha. Like Georgia Peach, makes sense. Alright, let's go to Copper Lane. Looks like we've unlocked the paths to all parts of Defiance Bay. So Copper Lane, and we'll go to Scrivener's Den to work on that quest, and then we'll probably head to Caed Nua so that I can pick up Durance. Scrivener's Den.
How's the hand?
Turning purple.
Or Scrivener's Dormitory. Whatever, close
I'm
enough.
supposed to pet him. Why is he so soft?
It'll be nice to get back out into the wilderness and do some fighting. I've been in this city for a few playthroughs now. Find Vienna. There's Corin.
Hello.
I'm looking for Vienna. I like Vienna. She's always talking about metal men, which is strange since I'm pretty sure she doesn't eat Snowcap. His brow wrinkles. I don't talk about metal men either, and I do eat Snowcap. Huh. Anyway, she's not here right now. Flew away to Andra's Gift to meet her friend Bessia. No, Klesia. Yes, Klesia. Klesia is the friend she's gone to meet. In Andra's Gift. In a house, not a boat. North house. Empty house. Andra's Gift has a lot of boats. We should go rowing sometime. Yeah, this guy's on major drugs. Farewell. Well, that's as far as we're going to progress with that quest then. My brother's just going to have to wait. So, we're going to head... I could probably do the temple. I don't want to leave without doing the Temple of Wodeka portion of things. So let's do that. I probably don't need a healer. I should be fine. Most of my guys have some self-healing or another. Or potions. Alright. Anything from him? Ah, we already did that.
Yeah.
Alright, in we go. Let's go to the catacombs and head to the temple, which we've already cleared the catacombs. There it is. Alright, save game. We're heading into the temple, which is storyline quest. Main quest. So let's see what they have to say in the Temple of Wodeka. Okay, this looks like a dungeon.
Keeping an
area.
eye out.
So we'll just stealth around. Oh. Older robed man. In front of you looms the ghostly hollow image of the man who was present at your awakening. He casts a pale, sickly light in the dank corridor as he regards you.
You are from Kratom, my boy.
His words are an echo in your mind from a time long past, and you know your response before you speak it, as if it has always been. Yes, I was born there.
A remarkable city. Truly one of the most impressive we have encountered outside of our own. Many exceptional people who have joined our cause come from Kratom. What made you decide to join our order?
Let's do number 4.
Little makes sense in the false contexts much of the world has lived under for so long. It is by the mercy of the gods that our faith has been able to reach so many of the heathen in more recent times. Are you ready to take the oath? To spread the word of the gods to the lost and heathen?
I am. Well, not really.
Nice and slow.
Let's see what's up here first. Oh, a dead end? That's not suspicious. Gee, wasn't expecting
I think
that.
I see something.
What do you suppose that bally thing is?
Oh, failed to disarm trap. Okay, back up, guys. Gotta send somebody forward.
Following your lead. Right away.
Had to send my sacrificial lamb out to take care of that trap.
You might find this interesting.
You think you hear the faint sound of whispering coming from the skulls, but the words are unintelligible.
The work of a moment.
Spell defense bonus. Let's take a look at that. The rest can go in the stash. Okay, plus 10 defense against spells. That could be handy, but I think most everybody has something better. That's a perception 2. Of level 9. Yeah, I'm just gonna stash it for now. The mercenary eyes you warily as you approach, his weapon readied. What are you doing here? You don't look like one of that masked lot. Let's see. I left my mask inside. Let me pass. What's going on here? Since you don't know, you clearly don't belong here. The guard whistles sharply and you hear shouts of alarm in the distance. Huh? Wrong choice. I kind of want to load my game. I might have been able to get a better choice there if I did the resolve. Let's load this one. This one's probably more recent.
Nice and quiet.
Oh, we have to go through this again.
You are from... What made you decide to join us? Are you ready?
Alright, we'll just speed through that.
Nice and slow.
On the hunt.
What's this?
How may I help? Oh.
I believe I just ended up stashing that, so let's head back here, and this time we're going to do something different. Choice-wise, we're going to try that resolve option. It's probably still going to amount to a fight, but it's worth a shot. Let's just save our game, so that way we don't have to repeat that little conversation again. Alright then, go on in and report to the Alkalite, and she'll give you your assignment. They should be just about finished with their meeting in the big chamber. Know anything about this place? He shakes his head. As far as we can tell, we're underneath First Fires. Probably under that ruined temple. Any idea what's going on around here? A word of advice, friend. Don't ask questions. Just go and do what you're told. Farewell. See, that's better. I didn't want to have to fight them. Especially since this guy's named.
I'll stay out of sight.
Mercenaries. More mercenaries. Extra mercenaries. Oh, I guess they don't care. Let's go up here and see what's up here. Actually, that looks like the room that I want to be in based on the ropes on the floor, so let's go down here. Past all the nice, friendly mercenaries. Some more nice, friendly mercenaries. Oh,
You should
something
see this.
hidden. Hello, nice, friendly mercenaries. Just looking around, nothing to see here. Binding copper and primal rock. Nobody seems to care about stealing. That's good. I don't care about taking if they don't care about stealing. Fine rod, scroll protection. Scroll can go to him. 29. Okay, maybe this is the room. I don't know. It's one of these rooms. Let's just go up here. The other one has a closed door, which makes me think that's where they want me to go for the storyline.
Keeping an eye out.
Probably not now. Now I see this. Oh, it's just an initiate. Okay. The book lies on the table. Its pages filled with some kind of unintelligible cryptography. Just in case the initiate doesn't like me unlocking his chest for him and
I'll have
taking
it
the
in no time.
contents.
The work of a moment.
Alright, so on to this room here. I gotta be getting close to level up. Oh, can't even see. I need 5 experience to level up on my main character. So any experience will get me there.
I'll see what I can find.
Kind of a rough-hewn path here, which usually means either traps or something hidden. Allo falters and brings a hand to his forehead. He takes a staggering step forward, coughing and sputtering.
Back, ye clod! Those hooded fiends are nigh to be trusted!
Elf, pull yourself together. It's nothing, I'm fine. He coughs again. This probably isn't the best place to linger anyhow. Oh, that's weird. He was kind of doing that stuff in Gilded Vale as well. Yeah, I have a long history of MMOs. My first MMO was EverQuest, and I've tried most MMOs since then for various periods of time. The one I've played the longest is World of Warcraft. I started playing it in the beta, and I've been playing ever since, except for a small year-long break back around Burning Crusade. So yeah, I play World of Warcraft. I tank for my guild during raid nights every Friday night. Oh yeah, that really... yeah. I haven't actually ever played Realm Online, but I have heard of it. That was pre-EverQuest, if I'm not... Yeah, okay. Yeah, that confirms it. Yeah, I really enjoyed EverQuest. I wasn't hardcore enough for any of the, raiding guilds or anything, which I just enjoyed, feign flopping my way around on my little Ixar monk and, just doing little penny ante stuff. But I enjoyed EverQuest. Yeah, what I've seen of FF14, it's probably, if I wasn't playing World of Warcraft, I would be playing FF14. I really enjoyed FF11 back in the day. I had a stint in FF11 that I really enjoyed. And I know FF14 is a totally different beast. It's probably close, from what I've seen, it's probably closer to WoW than it is FF11. But if I wasn't playing World of Warcraft, it'd definitely be Final Fantasy XIV.
Sure.
The thing with FF11 that I found great was the job classes. Unlocking Samurai and Dragoon and classes like that was just such an epic quest that they didn't just hand it to you. It was memorable locations like Valcom Dunes with the beach where the ghosts come out at night and slaughter the Lobies that are fighting along the beach. Just the giant towers in, I don't remember the name of some of the zones, but the giant towers and the snowfields that had the giants inside that would throw the rocks at you. Yangatao Jungle. Just, where that was not solo friendly at all. You needed a group in there. There were constant trains of mobs running across the bridge back to the entry areas because people were just get overwhelmed. Just so many locales in FF11. Not the type of MMO that would frolic in today's atmosphere, but yeah, I had good times. Probably my favorite MMO other than World of Warcraft was FF11. I played some of the story. I never really got high level in FF11. I think the highest level I got was in the mid 30s or low 40s, so I got some of the story quests done, but I just never really... I just always had tough time investing time in MMOs that because a lot of the stories started requiring groups and stuff like that, which a lot of times I wouldn't feel like getting a group together or whatever. But just the I really loved FF11. It was a good game. You hear murmurs and chants on the other side of the door. A ritual of some sort is already underway. Let's see, I could don the hood and mask. Beckon the party to follow you into the chamber. Continue into the chamber alone. Retreat from the door. Don the hood and mask would probably be good, because then I would meld with who's there. But the problem being, if they discover who I am, they'll accuse me of deception. I could just beckon my party to follow me into the chamber, but the elf guy doesn't seem to be having a good way of things. So maybe I should continue into the chamber alone. Yeah, I'm going to continue into the chamber alone. Might not be the wisest decision. Interloper. Okay, so obviously that was not the best decision. Well, maybe it's fine, but I don't know. Let's just see what some of the other options give.
Right. Let's see what lies this way.
You know what? I need to stop doing that reload just to see what the other options get. I won't do that anymore. It's just bad. It's just save scumming, and I shouldn't do that to get the optimal reaction. I should just live with whatever I get.
Back you, Claude! Those hooded fiends are nigh to be trusted!
Huh? Yeah, I won't do that again. None of this reloading just because I don't like how things turn out. Or I want to get a different result. Let's just don the hood and mask and call it a day. Yeah, I know, but, I'm doing a blind playthrough, and I am blind, but saving before everything and not liking the result and reloading your game when you know you're either gonna... There's still gonna be a path forward regardless whether you kill the whole room or find a peaceful way through. I can't do that. I haven't done it up to this point, and I just did it. I don't like doing that, so I'll live with my decisions. Several shrouded figures are lined up across from a hooded woman. The figure at the head of the line approaches her, and the woman places her outstretched hand on the stranger's forehead. They stand in silent communion as you look on. A few moments later, the stranger steps aside and resumes his place in the circle around the statue. The woman turns towards you. "You're late, attendant." Even though her face is concealed, you sense her rage in her dangerously low voice, and in the sudden silence of the others in the chamber.
I've been waiting on your reports. Quickly now, state your name and purpose.
The woman beckons you closer with curling fingers. She rests her open hand on your forehead, and you feel the heat from her palm through the thick material of your hood. Her voice is so low and soft that you're not certain whether she's speaking aloud or in your head. My character is stoic, but I'm also in disguise. Let's just go with the stoic response. Ah, damn it. Okay, I'm living with the consequences. I'm just going to kill them all. Let's have him attack her, attack him, and
Can't get a good shot on this.
okay, he can wolf out. Use that. Doorway is kind of a problem. Everybody focus on this guy. Get him out of the way so I can clear the field, so to speak. Where's the wolf? Wolfie, you need to fight them too. Okay, that's better.
Good shot.
Let's see, let's do another one on the shrouded one. Let's get them on the wizard up there, including the wolf. Okay, let's summon our wyverns to clear the fields. Let's see, keep on there, except we'll use second wind. You two stay on that guy along with the wolf. You two help take out this guy. And you two focus on that guy. Okay, now everybody attack this guy, and we'll clean up. Easy peasy. Crumpled at your feet lies the body of a woman. She wears a dark robe that bears an insignia resembling a key. As you approach the woman's body, feelings of rage assault you. The dead woman's voice howls in your ears, and her lingering consciousness rends at yours. Her essence tingles through your bones and membranes. It fills the spaces between your ears and behind your eyes, clawing deeper into your core. You see a gathering of men and women wearing robes like hers, their faces hidden behind masks. One by one they approach her, whom they know as an acolyte, and she places her hand on each of their foreheads, searching their thoughts. She tests them with ritualistic questions, and they answer that their oath is sealed by the leaden key. She asks them of their tasks. She gives them new ones, all without a word. Try to see the tasks. Her essence flares, fighting to boil your blood, burn your memory, and splinter your bones from within. Yet between its strikes, you see flashes of something else. A tower, a prisoner, and a ruin. You funnel all of your concentration into a single effort of will, a sharp point that pins the raging soul in place like an insect in a display case. With the thing under control, you're able to examine it and the three thoughts swirling inside. Yeah, it's inside me, get it out! Examine the thought about the tower, inquire about the prisoner, and look into the ruins. Tower, I wonder if they'll let you look at each of them. You might not have time. Let's examine the thought about the tower. You see a palimpsest of a neighborhood. Run-down estates are cobbled around a cemetery and an ancient tower. Savage shapes prowl the trees, and in the tower a man hunches over a strange mechanism. You can't see him clearly, but there's something unnatural about him. Somewhere nearby, you see a woman with a scar over her heart. You understand that she is something he needs. You also see a door in the base of the tower, a seemingly impenetrable slab of stone and copper. But then the acolyte reveals the invisible split between the perfectly matched halves, and you understand how the copper veins convert a command into action. You know how to open the door. Inquire about the prisoner. In your mind, you see a building, magnificent with trellises and tiles, and located on a pristine boulevard. The wealthy and learned stroll in and out, trading knowledge and coin. Yet it also houses misery and madness. Somewhere within its rotten core sits a man, his hair matted but his eyes alert. He watches and waits, a prisoner by choice. Look into the ruins. The acolyte's vision takes you out of Defiance Bay into a town in the wilderness with a watermill. A signpost on one of the paths reads, "Deer Forward." Several figures huddled together, shrouded in cloaks and hoods. An image of ruins suddenly looms in your mind. Two skeletal effigies flank a cleft in a mountainside. Back away.
Yeah.
Find the tower. New quest. Okay, let's see if any of these weapons are worth a crap. Not so far. A lead key. Not sure what it opens, though. Alright. Find the place of misery and madness.
Sure.
Oh,
Nice and quiet.
I know where that is. Oh wait, I got a ton of new main storyline quests. Act 1 ended when I entered Defiance Bay. So I'm somewhere after Act 1, and I'm not 100% sure, but I only think there's 3 or 4 acts. So I'm not that far in. I'm probably less than 50%, but that's just an estimate. I don't know since I'm playing blind. I expect this to probably be a 50 to 70 hour RPG if I do all the side quests and stuff. Whether by design or by consequences of the sputter and candlelight, the hooded statue face is almost impossible to see. And last I checked, I'm about 22 or 25 hours in. So I've probably got a while left on this. Ooh, a new grimoire for my spellcaster to steal spells from. Let's see. Let's give him some traps to use. Okay, so I can learn Curse of Blackened Sight and Lengrath's Displaced Image. Okay. Now I could throw this in the stash. Make sure all they all have quick items filled up. They do. Devotees have placed assorted keys, their teeth filed away among the runnels of wax. Obviously, that switch opens this door here. Defiance. Plus, only usable by ranger. Plus 25 defense against charmed, confused attacks. Plus 10 defense against dominated attacks. Plus 10 concentration. Okay. Well, she's my ranger, so let's take a look. Make sure there's nothing hidden down here. Doesn't look that way. Okay. Oh, I can level up a few, most of my characters. Have I explored everywhere? Yes, I have. Okay, so let's save our game and level our characters up. I don't know where these stairs are taking us. Let's do an athletics. Oh, I got a bunch of new... oh, these are all paladin abilities. Oh, that's kind of nice. Let's see. That might not be bad to have. That's not bad. Inspires the paladin and all nearby allies to charge fiercely into battle, increasing their movement speed and disengagement defense. Cannot be active with other Zealous auras, but I like my Zealous aura. Commands an ally to summon all their strength in order to temporarily ignore existing hostile effects. The effect will resume. Paladin's intense and pure conviction instills clarity of purpose in him or her and all allies, increasing their accuracy and converting a portion of grazes to hits. Cannot be active with other Zealous aura. Grazes converted to hits isn't bad. But let me look at... yeah, let's cancel. I want to see what his current aura is. Damage reduction. Incoming hits converted to grazes. So really that's kind of a trade-off. Instead of my guy's hits, grazes being converted to hits, the enemy's hits are being converted to grazes. Okay, so that kind of narrows things down. I'm gonna go with coordinated attacks. I'm a big fan of the passives.
Hey.
Let's do survival. Mechanics. No, let's do lore. Okay. Does that count as a saber? I thought that would be a sword. I hope I didn't waste my choices. Unique saber, one-handed. I think I made a mistake in choosing skills. Let me look at his character sheet. Yeah, I had chosen sword for his weapon specialization. You know, that's not that bad because he might get a better weapon that's a sword down the line. I'm not going to be too upset over that. Though I'm not happy about it either. So if I go ruffian, blunderbuss, club, pistol, saber, and stiletto types. He's never going to use a stiletto or a blunderbuss. He might use a club. He won't use a pistol. So club and saber, basically. Oh, that's not bad. Yeah, let's go with that. So he can use heavy armor now to better effect. I don't have any decent heavy armor though. That's okay. He still gets a benefit from that speed boost. Okay. Oh, each ranged attack loosed by the ranger contains such force as to fly straight through the first target and hit another target behind it for less damage. That means she would have to be lined up. But this says bounce one time. Does it bounce or does it have to pass through is the question. Plus 15 deflection against ranged attacks. Let's just do driving flight. That seems like it could be good. Alright, new set of level 4 spells to choose from. Fires 5 missiles of pure force at the target, causing a shockwave of crushing damage to foes close to the impact. And it's foes, which is good. I can learn 2 spells, so I'm going to learn that. And confusion.
How may I help?
Okay. So my party is good to go. Let's save and see what we have up above. The steward of Cadenau has received a letter for you. Okay, so it looks like my next course of action is to go to Cadenau.
A moment, please. Feel I should explain myself.
Alright.
About my episode in the catacombs. There's something I should have told you earlier.
Let's go stoic. He clasped his hands together, slowly massaging the knuckle of his thumb. I meant no harm. I thought I could keep it to myself. That when we resolved the matter of your soul, we would also address my problem.
I also have an awakened soul. But unlike yours, mine is a presence that shares my senses and my skin, making herself manifest at the most unwelcome times.
I knew something was off with him when we picked him up in Gilded Vale. He closes his eyes and grits his teeth. His lips quiver and twitch with the vestiges of some internal debate. Several seconds later, he opens his eyes again. They're watery and bloodshot.
I'm sorry. I've tried to learn to control Isilmir. I've gotten stronger, but so has she.
Tell me about Isilmir.
Artless, uncouth, a creature of rash impulses and feeble faculties. She wags her impertinent tongue when she should listen.
Aye, this one's fit to boil. Hard to get his gaff over anything tisn't to do with books and spell speak.
He grimaces, running his hands through his hair. I have none of her memories. Bareth spared me that much, but her coarse manners and intolerable Hyle speak suggest a provincial from a very, very long time ago. She tends to surface a hair's breadth from conflict, when the fuse is burned down and teeth are on edge, and when she shows up, she doesn't stop to gauge a situation. She just acts. She seems reckless. That's it exactly. You recall the way she goaded those villagers in Gilded Vale? She doesn't think, and she doesn't back down, and trying to suppress that has been my problem for years. Why didn't you say something sooner?
I learned to keep her a secret a very long time ago. Those with awakened souls are shunned, mistrusted. And after your experience with Meowald, I'm certain you can see why. You need to be careful.
Is this going to be a problem?
Merely an annoyance. Although... Defiance Bay is said to have an entire institution dedicated to the study and cure of soul-related ailments. Since our journeys have already brought us to the city, perhaps we could speak with someone there.
We'll see. I can't make any promises.
Of course. I understand.
I'd like to know more about Isilmir. Such as, when did she awaken? My father was a strict man. He expected the best from his only child, and he didn't tolerate failure. His face becomes drawn. At times he could be rather adamant, particularly when he'd been drinking. Isilmir manifested on one such occasion. To be honest, I don't remember the specifics, only that he was more careful of me after that. You said that you learned to hide her a long time ago. My mother instructed me to keep her a secret after she first emerged. She feared that knowledge of my awakening would render me an outcast. Even though Isilmir proved useful against my father, I trusted my mother's advice, and I've since come to see the wisdom behind it. Meerwald is an extreme example, but one that I could relate to more and more each year. Meerwald was the former keeper of Caed Nua, which is now my stronghold. I ended up having I'm not sure if you were here for that, but I ended up having to take him out. Just because he was insane, and he attacked me. Could I talk directly to her? He gives you a taut frown. Her usurpations are uncomfortable enough. I'm not eager to invite her into my consciousness more than necessary. Alright. Okay, so got a quest to help him in Defiance Bay, so probably at the sanitarium in Brackenbury. But we're not heading there, we're heading back to the stronghold. Gonna swap out Durance with somebody, probably the Druid. As much as I like the Druid, I prefer having a healer.
Better indeed.
Bright Hollow Hearth construction complete. So let's see what to make next. Let's do the West Curtain Wall. So let's dismiss him.
Meanwhile, watch your step.
And have him back in. Let's put him back in his usual spot. Let's change my form. I like the pyramid formation better. So that way these guys can get to the sides easier. Let's see. Potion of Iron Skin. Let's give it to him. Give her some of these. Okay. So we can level him up now. Lore. And let's see. Restore major endurance. Good, more healing. Alright.
What?
I haven't talked to him in a while. Let's see what he has to say.
If doubts and curiosity before some I suspect that's a curse that
Alright, so nothing really to talk to. My lord, you've
My
received
lord,
a letter.
you've received a letter, delivered with some urgency as it happens. I thought the messenger might swoon, poor dear. It's from Stalwart. Apparently the mayor, Renengild, has heard of your success here at Cadnua, and hopes you can be of aid to her people as well.
That's a long way for a letter.
People like you come few and far between. And in this case, I believe Renengild is correct in suggesting that your experiences here may give you an edge. It seems she's intent on gaining access to Durgan's battery. And she's offering quite the reward to anyone who can get inside.
A reward, she says, for getting into the battery. That's a reward of its own, surely.
Durgan's battery, as in the source of Durgan steel.
Ah, the very same. All manner of people have been trying to infiltrate the keep for years. Our own Earl was much taken with the story of the battery's fall. There are many legends concerning the battery. As the Earl told it, the dwarves fought amongst themselves, each seeking to use the battery to further his or her own ambitions. Greed and cruelty brought down the battery, and now the spirits of those same dwarves roam the halls. Whatever happened, the battery has been impenetrable ever since. A shame. I don't doubt that there are great treasures still within those halls.
Perhaps I'll pay Stalwart a visit.
Oh, just think! The greatest of the dwarven strongholds, ours to explore!
I should mention that among those rumored to have answered Reningild's summons is a certain group I believe you may have an interest in. Followers of Woodaka, intent on reaching Stalwart and the battery. I do not know what they seek there, but I thought it worth mentioning, given your interest in the ruins at Defiance Bay. Now that I've delivered Reningild's message, there is also a local matter of some concern, my lord. A mercenary band has been sighted to the northeast. I believe they mean to take Consul Hot's tower, and I don't expect the Archmage will go quietly.
Consul Hot's one of the greatest wizards of our generation!
Aloth fidgets and flutters, vacillating between anxiety and excitement. He appears to be at a loss for words.
The Torn Bannermen are a deadly fighting force, and Consul Hot himself has sent many travelers to their graves. I would caution you to stay clear of the region if you do travel to the White March. It is not that I doubt your courage, my lord, but Consul Hot alone boasts power of a different scale altogether to those foes you have faced thus far. Given more time, perhaps, you will match him. If the Bannermen succeed in their efforts, I fear they may turn their attention to Cadnua. I will keep you apprised of the situation, my lord.
Who is Consul Hot?
A famed archmage. I am given to understand that the Brackenberry Sanitarium puts much stock in his work, as regards the manipulation of the soul. His spells are widely circulated. But he is poorly regarded in many circles. Some call him a madman, or else cruel and barbarous. He must be very old by now. Perhaps that is why the Torn Bannermen believe they can best him.
Do you know anything else about these mercenaries?
Little enough, I'm afraid. The Torn Bannermen are well supplied and well organized, and there are rumors that they are backed by an unknown benefactor. They have proved remarkably effective in the past, and they are certainly a threat now.
Alright, thanks for letting me know.
Safe travels, my lord.
Okay, so travel to Steward, a new quest. Bunch of new quests. I've got quests out the Yin Yang now. Oh, the White March Part 1. Holy crap, look at all the quests. There's a lot of stuff to do. Let's see, I can level up my other guy now. Let's do one in mechanics. That's good. Now that is good, because he's always in the... I'm probably going to go with that. So let's see, I may have to...
Hey.
Let's just go through my characters real quick, make sure I don't have
Ready,
to change...
Watchers.
Aye?
Let's see... That's all good. I kind of want to do... See, the problem with these spells is it could hurt my own guys. I want to kind of do more bounding missiles. Oh, I can only do one copy. Okay, well, never mind then.
Following your lead.
So let's edit chance. One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm gonna edit all these chants. Okay, he's mostly in the ranged pile, so let's build our chants focusing on that. Gonna do that one first. That's a friendly aura. It's very rare for the foes to be around him. Do that one. Then do that one. I don't really use different chants because the guy is typically in the ranged group. So, let's see. I do want to do the others. Oh, wait. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, wanted to see if I can level up this guy now. So let's
You
put
walk
him
your
back.
path, I'll walk mine.
Yeah?
So it doesn't look like they get experience while they're not in the group, or else he may have leveled up. Yeah, or else he would have leveled up. So that's good to know for the future, but I still want to run with Durance.
May Wal watch your step.
Yeah.
So what do I do now? I can head to... That's probably going to be Heritage Hill, possibly. This one flat out says go to Deerford Village. That would be Brackenberry. I have multiple quests for Brackenberry. That one's in Von Andra's Gift.
Huh?
It might be, maybe I'll just do some Endless Paths stuff. It's been a while since I did Endless Paths. I think that's what I'll do. Focus on, because I have quests for the Endless Paths for a couple characters. Oh yeah, I completed the dungeons. I almost forgot.
Hello.
Greetings, my lord. Here to maintain the cells for you. Should you take any prisoners in your travels, I'll make sure they are tended to you as you see fit. Nobody in here right now, but I'm sure you'll change that soon enough.
Yeah.
I think I cleared through level 6. Guess we're gonna find out. Quickest way down is the sacrificial pit. Climb down the pit. So that takes me to level 5, which I know is clear. Pretty sure I cleared level 6, but let's look at the map. Yeah, I did. I think this is where I left off. Find Gambranos or the tablet.
Huh?
Nice and quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Fragments of faded and Gwythian runes descend the links of these broken pillars. Earthblight. Let's see how I do against it.
Can't get a good.
Let's go.
Not really a problem.
Slow and silent.
Let's see what's over here.
Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, that was a weird sound.
Nice and quiet.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are not hard at all. Checking for hidden things first. Or traps. Wind prism. Scroll a wall of flame. Let's give that to her. Strange pedestals around depression on the top. It seems to be missing sun. These machines, they were making blights. Oh, whatever it is, I don't have the means of rectifying it.
Keeping quiet.
Let's see what's up this way. Beware, traveler, greater souls than yours walk here. Oh, wow. Let's see if I can do anything about that. Oh crap, what the heck just happened to him?
Most inconvenient.
Wow, he died. Let's bring out the drakes. Yeah, definitely shouldn't have. This battle is definitely a. Oh wow. Yeah. The ghost wasn't kidding when it said, "Oh, hold, slow your roll. You don't go down this path. These guys are above your level." So it looks like I may not be able to do too much here.
Keeping an eye out.
Sure.
We'll just avoid that area and see what's down this way. I was able to do these just fine, so we'll clear this stuff out.
Dead on!
Riff Uligna!
That's it! This isn't working!
I'll see what I can find.
Will they made an answer?
Let's go!
Yes?
Dead on! Dead on!
That's it!
Let's go. Hello? Hello?
Let's just get back to where we were here. Okay, so upper right path is dangerous. Let's make a note about that. And this path's level 7. Upper right path dangerous. High level enemies. Let's see what this direction takes us.
Dead on! Dead on! Dead on!
Summon the drakes to help.
Following.
That's it!
Oh wow. Heal him up.
Can't get a good shot with this.
Nice and slow.
Let's see if there's anything hidden. And there is.
I think I see something.
Nothing really good. Strange pedestals around depression at the top. Seems to be missing something. So now I've gotten to 2 of those pedestals. I'm missing something for. Let's see what this area has.
Hi?
Let's get a good shot with this.
Okay, let's do a Flames of Devotion on him and a knockdown. Nothing really. Let's do one for there. Let's have him attack them too. Aloth can't do any of what he's supposed to do if you guys won't let him in. Okay, so now let's try that again.
La Baru beyond seek. That's not very helpful.
Right.
I shall be quiet as a calm sea, which is not very quiet.
That's not very helpful.
Let's go! I shall be quiet as a calm sea, which is not very quiet.
A rain prism, which probably can go on one of those, and an old copper key. So one of those things probably goes on the pillars. Fragments of faded Engwithian runes descend the length of this broken pillar. So it doesn't look like I could get in over here. Let's see if I could do anything with that pillar. A round depression at the top. Missing something. Let's see what shape this depression is. Both have round depressions at the top. So there's nothing I could do until I level up some more on the endless paths. So let's head back out to Caed Nua.
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
Let's go to the closest master staircase to fast travel on out. There we are. That's fine. Let's go rest at Blight Hollow. Is that what it's called? I'm horrible with names. Okay, just curious. Yeah, okay, I'm still okay money-wise. Bright Hollow, sorry. I love the music of the Stronghold. It makes me want to go watch Lord of the Rings movies in the worst way.
Elegant yet understated.
Oh, who's this? Oh, never mind.
Need something?
Curious about your compatriots? Oh, love at first sight. It's like Wow carved an ever-changing gash in his brain, and every hour he's a different flavor of angry. Durance makes me feel like I'm the sane one. He smells like fear in the mornings and rage in the afternoons. I'm keeping my eye on him. He's a laugh, but he might someday be a problem. We can speak another time.
Let's rest, since Durance always takes a beating. Brutish warriors arrived seeking employment. A messenger from Defiance Bay has arrived at Caed Nua. Wild Onyx finishes escorting Lord Brinwigger and returns to the stronghold. Alright, let's go see what these annoyances want. They always want something. Now that I have a keep and own land,
Looks a little healthier than before.
Oh yeah, I wanted to check something out. See how many kills I've gotten with this. 85 out of 200. Cool. Message from the Ducal Palace. Pardon the intrusion, my lord. Chancellor Warren urgently requests that you meet him at the Charred Barrel in Brackenbury. Why isn't the Chancellor meeting me at the palace? Perhaps the Chancellor is meeting with you in an unofficial capacity. It happens from time to time. Is it about Caed Nua again? I don't know. My apologies, my lord. I'm merely a messenger. He's the legal arbiter for Earl Badamere, Lord of the Grasp. I believe you made it as acquaintance at the Ducal Palace. I'll meet him when I can.
Huh?
Always somebody wanting my attention. I think I'm going to call it there for the evening. Seems like a good stopping point. I have to pick a quest, head there, or I go back to Defiance Bay and explore those other areas. Oh, that was loud. That was weird and loud. Thank you all who watched. I appreciate your watching the stream. I will be back tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Sometime soon I'm going to get to Hollow Knight also. Probably when I need a break from the RPG. So in the next day or two of the stream, I'll probably do some Hollow Knight. My friend's also been talking about possibly doing some Vermintide. Whether it's 1 or 2, I'm not sure. So there may be some of that on the stream. Warhammer Vermintide. Some rat killing. So I'm not sure yet. Probably Pillars of Eternity tomorrow. Maybe Hollow Knight. Depends on the mood. Y'all have a good evening. I appreciate it. And I'm out of here. Take it easy.